Here we go. Melissa Harris Perry. More apologies are needed for the grotesque actions taken a couple of weeks ago on her show. They had a year-end show with 4 comedians on there, and they would put captions to pictures trying to be funny. They talked about Mitt Romney's grandson. How dare they? Let me show you this sickening display.
Everybody loves a baby picture, and this was one that really a lot of people had emotions about this baby picture this year. This is the Romney family, right? And of course, there on Governor Romney's knee is his adopted grandson, who is an adopted African American child, Kieran Romney, and he captions for this one.
One of these things is not. One of these things. Does he do the same? And that little baby, front and center, would be the one.
And isn't he the most gorgeous? My goal is that in 2040, the biggest thing of the year will be the wedding between Kieran Romney and Northwest. Can you imagine Mitt Romney and Kanye West as in-laws?
I think this picture is great. It really sums up the diversity of the Republican Party.
Yeah,
every RNC. They have with the convention, and they find the one black.
Oh my God, I'm outraged and sickened. Did you hear that? She called the baby gorgeous. How dare she? Now, we talked about this fake outrage last week. So what's the new twist on this? Of course, the outrage has not abated. Even though Melissa Harris Perry apologized profusely on Twitter and tearfully on MSNBC, which we'll show you in a minute. Fox News is, so outraged, they're going to bring on Mitt Romney to ask him about it. Chris Wallace, do some journalism here for me.
For some reason, MSNBC decided to make him a target for ridicule. Governor, this must be hurtful, and I know you're a classy guy and you don't want to get into it, but I got to ask you honestly, from the heart, how did you, and quite frankly, how did Mrs. Romney feel when you heard that your little baby grandson, Kieran, was the target for political ridicule?
Well, first, let me just note, Chris, that we love this little guy a great deal. He was an answer to prayer, and we love that he's part of our family. He is part of our family. That being said, I recognize that people make mistakes, and the folks at MSNBC made a big mistake, and they've apologized for it, and that's all you can ask for. I'm going to move on from that. I'm sure they want to move on from it. Look, I've made plenty of mistakes myself, and they've apologized for this, and I think we can go on from there.
Okay, that's a great reaction by Romney. Absolutely nothing wrong with that, and very clear. So he's moving on from it. Apparently, the only person not moving on from it is Chris Wallace, because this is the one topic he's decided requires follow-up questions. 2 of them. Watch.
Well, let me just ask, and if I can press just a little bit on this, sir. You tend to speak from the head. I know Mrs. Romney tends to speak from the heart. I suspect she took this somewhat more personally. The idea that political discourse would include going after a little baby.
Well, I think people recognize, and the folks at MSNBC who've apologized recognize that people like me are fair targets. I think it's a heartfelt apology, and I think for that reason we hold no ill will whatsoever.
Finally, I just want to play, because the anchor of the segment, as you mentioned, Melissa Harris Perry, yesterday on her show did apologize for her comments. On the other hand, I have to point out, during the segment, she had a good laugh and said maybe Kieran would marry Kim Kardashian's daughter, and then you and Kanye West would be in-laws. Your reaction to her comments then and her apology yesterday, sir?
I think her apology was clearly heartfelt, and we accept that. And with regards to the rest of the comments, I hadn't heard those and don't really have any comment on those.
For the first time, I actually felt bad for Mitt Romney on the 3rd question. He's like, dude, asked and answered, okay? It was a good apology. I accepted it. How many times do you want me to tell you, okay? So now, look, sometimes, actually, believe it or not, Chris Wallace does good journalism. That was not an example of it, okay? And the reason that he asked that over and over is because he knows that's the only thing that anybody's going to pay attention to. The rest of his Romney interview, no one gave a damn about. But they're like, oh, Chris Wallace asked about the baby! And they're like, he said, going after a baby like that, did they stab the baby? What did they do to the baby? Nobody ever said that there was anything wrong with the baby. They said looks like it's the problem that Republicans have with diversity, that there's only one black person in the picture. That's going after the Republican Party. It's not going after the baby. It's not saying, oh, goddamn baby. You see how he snuck in there? They never said a bad thing about the baby. They weren't going after the baby. It's ridiculous. The whole thing is made up. So they can say, well, you know, Fox News is racist sometimes. And, oh, well, look at that, MSNBC going after a black kid like that. Heartless. Heartless. By the way, I think the entire Romney family, the biggest insult out of the whole thing was when Chris Wallace was like, now, I know you think with your head, but your wife, she's not as bright. She's kind of emotional and flies off the handle. No, come on, she was pissed, wasn't she? By the way, you want to see the title of Mitt Romney's last book? Yeah, no apology. That's right. So if you're going to ask anybody if they got a sufficient apology, that would be an ironic person to ask. And again, Romney did absolutely nothing wrong there. His answers were great. Now, finally, let's bring you that teary apology from Melissa Harris Perry that came on Saturday to hopefully end this whole thing.
Now, given my own family history, I'd identified with that picture, and I intended to say positive and celebratory things about it. But whatever the intent was, the reality is that the segment proceeded in a way that was offensive. So without reservation or qualification, I apologize to the Romney family. Adults who enter into public life implicitly consent to having less privacy, but their families, and especially their children, should not be treated callously or thoughtlessly. Intention was not malicious, but I broke the ground rule that families are off limits. And for that, I am sorry. Also, allow me to apologize to other families formed through transracial adoption, because I am deeply sorry that we suggested that interracial families are in any way funny or deserving of ridicule. On this program, we are dedicated to advocating for a wide diversity of families. It is one of our core principles, and I am reminded that when we are doing so, it must always be with the utmost respect. I'm genuinely appreciative of everyone who offered serious criticisms of last Sunday's program. And I am reminded that our fiercest critics can sometimes be our best teachers.
Yeah. What are you doing? Oh, jeez. Like, I feel bad criticizing her, although apparently last week Jimmy Dore didn't mind. Like, oh, go, just stop. Oh my God, with the tearful apologies on MSNBC. Oh, I'm so sorry. You never attacked the baby. You called him gorgeous. You didn't say anything wrong about the baby. As I said then, I would have added the line, hey, God bless the Romney family for adopting a black kid. That's great of them, man. They were thought outside the box a little bit. They went outside of, you know, what they're familiar with, which is white folks. Good for them, right? But nobody thought that you were going after their family. It's all fake outrage, and for you to feed into it, it doesn't help, it hurts. And I'm so tired, and I guarantee you the conversation that management had with Melissa Harris Perry was, I meant the family? No. People inside the cocktail circuit, we don't talk about each other's families, okay? So I need you to step away and give me one more over-the-top apology, which she did, which is obviously heartfelt. She didn't fake that crying, right? But it makes me want to cry every time I see MSNBC apologize like that.